Me, AvronPlays, and I'm here with Kodiakbricks.
Howdy all, I'm Kodiakbricks, and I make stuff. Pronouns are he, him, and yeah.
Gonna play some
We're gonna grind more cardes.
Yes, we're going to grind more cards in the forbiddenest of memories. I didn't get a chance to grind off screen, so you guys have to watch.
Well, so it goes.
Oh.
Thank you. Damn.
I don't know why this this game soundtrack is such a bop.
It is though. I had a funny exchange with a friend earlier. So I cook. Some of it's experimental, some of it is just, you know, my usual wares doing their thing. Fucking Griggle. But a lot of that experimentation, unfortunately, comes with the nature of like, oh, this was really good. Do you have the recipe? And me getting to realize in horror in real time that I was so busy cooking that I didn't write anything down.
Do you have the recipe? What's a recipe?
So about that. No, like my dad and I struggle with the same thing. I'm fairly confident I got it from him. Damn clown zombie. Where he'll, you know, he'll throw things in, he'll add spices, I'll throw things in, I'll add spices, try different levels of things, and like, I'm usually following a recipe, but I don't, like, adhere to it. Now, make no mistake, this is not me just going off script for shits and giggles. I am, for all intents and purposes, like, doing science, and like a not insurmountable amount of cooking is understanding the chemistry and how different things interact with each other. So like I'm not just shooting from the hip when I do this, but again, sometimes that like I hit that perfect flavor combo. And it's like, how'd you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Boy, I wish I knew.
Yep. I was talking to a friend of mine about that earlier, just like, so as far as cooking shit, goes, and like not writing down the recipe and all the good things. Well, that was nice of him. And it was just like, you know, I bemoaned, like, God, I never write it down, and so I have to give people the warning. It's like, hey, this is good. I don't, like, savor the taste now, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to replicate it. And she commented, like, well, hang on, you have the body cam, like, for work. Couldn't you just, like, record yourself? And I was like, that is an ingenious idea, and I'm a little angry I hadn't thought of it sooner. Then she's like, yeah, you know, you can review the video, see what you did, if it turned out, and then, like, write it down after the fact. And if it wasn't good, you can just delete the video. I came back with, like, Why are you covering your body cam, Dave? Because I added too much salt. This Thousand Dragon is reminding me that I still need to play the Spyro remastered. Because they very intentionally made all of the characters way fucking sexier than they were in the original like PS1 version.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the dragons in that game were already like 10s in just the PS1 version. Nice. But yeah, then they did the remastered and they released the trailer for it. I was watching it like, why are they so sexy? And I knew why. Because they're trying and succeeding to cater to an audience like me. God damn it.
Meanwhile, me over here like, what do you mean? Dragons are always sexy.
Yeah, like there's a condition where dragons can't be sexy? Does not compute. I was gonna say, I thought he had you in the first half, but you've pretty heartily turned this around.
Yeah, that Thousand Dragon saved my ass.
The Catboy's even more powerful after you gave him a real, actual gun. Did you ever play the Spyro games?
No asterisk.
Go on.
I have played some of them, but I've played them while I was like over at a friend's house. So
okay, I see.
I never got to play enough of them to kind of like really experience them.
Sure. Mabel, knock it off. Close that drawer. Mabel, I will come over there. Don't slow blink at me. You're in trouble. Hey. Uno momento, por favor.
You're in trouble.
Boy. Yeah, you. He's figured out how to open the second drawer from the top, which, like, normally wouldn't be an issue, because, like, she just wants to be a shithead and get up on the counter. And, like, there's nothing up there for her, but she's on a diet, so she's exploring for potential food that I might have forgotten. Brackets, I didn't. And normally, like, I wouldn't have an issue with her figuring out how to open that particular drawer to, like, get up and be naughty. Except that's the drawer I keep all my goddamn knives in. So some mornings I'll come down and get ready for work, and just the knife drawer is open conspicuously. Ah, yes, good. And like, could I move all of the knives to a different drawer? Sure. but that will mess with my style and ease when it comes to cooking. And you can't mess with the cooking steez, we all know this. I turned around because I thought she just opened the drawer again. I'm like, God damn it, you little shit.
You thought you could stop me. But you were wrong, human.
Mabel, don't do it. What? 1 second again.
Yeah, you go on, get. Hi.
You saw me get up and she was like, oh fuck, beans. Sprinted out of the kitchen.
Bird.
Speaking of kittens, hi handsome. Come on up. Come tell the people what you think of all the things. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Aaron's becoming a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters master. Yeah. I know. Hi. He's a baby boy. I still can't get over your comment when I sent you that one, like, cheating scandal video. You were just like, I had to check to make sure I was still watching the same video. It just went so wildly off the rails.
Well, yeah, it's like, he definitely cheated at this video game. And I'm like, seems pretty convincing. Also, he's a PDF file. I'm like, whoa!
I'm like, whoa! I'm like, and he's a piece of shit who abuses the copyright system. You're like, damn, that might be the second worst thing. It's like I feel like we've confused the hierarchy of like anger here. Like, meaning to like drive me to rage like on a progressive scale, but like the gun is already out of my holster. It almost feels like a de-escalation when we talk about the YouTube thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he powered up and still lost. Damn.
What a guy.
It's like he doesn't even have any more cards to give you.
Oh, well, I'm doing this for a reason.
Ah. You win!
So, I'll explain in just 1 second. Bear trip.
Bear trip. Hey!
Better be careful
Hey.
with this one.
Hey! What's that doing there? Aaron, you got something to tell me, buddy? I thought we've been pretty fucking amicable up to this point. Why'd that guy just casually give you a bear trap? What's up?
I don't know, the card he gives is up to him.
Cool, me, him, and this aluminum baseball bat are gonna have a quick conversation out back. Oh, so when it's weak, it just dies.
Yep.
Cool.
Not... Well, actually... It depends on if this activates when I'm attacked.
Uh-huh.
Because there are a couple cards that are hard to get over because they have a high defense, but their attack is really low. So if I could trigger this on those cards, that would be good. But I don't know if that is an option.
I also love that we're at stream number, like, three question mark? And we're just now getting trap cards.
Well, so that's the thing I was gonna explain. So this game has a system where the cards that you can get from an opponent are specific to each opponent, and each opponent has 3 different pools of cards that they
can pull from.
Those are based on how you defeat them.
Gotcha.
So there's power ratings and tech ratings, and you can get an S through C or D, I think it's actually D, on each of those. And if you get defeating someone with power is like, you know, the normal way of beating them. Just play big monster and attack. Defeating someone with tech is like play a bunch of spell cards. And the things that like push you towards either of them push you away from the other one. If you get an A or an S in power, it gives you certain cards. If you get an A or an S tech, it gives you certain cards.
Yeah.
And then the third pool is anything below an A or an S in either.
Interesting.
So ideally, the easiest way, rather, to get a S Tech rating is to have your opponent deck out, because it gives you like plus 20 points towards that category of game victory.
Sure.
And that is significant because when you get an S-Tech victory, the pool that you get cards from contains more spell cards. More spell and trap cards, that is.
Gotcha.
So we're trying to get a specific card from this guy called Beast Fangs.
See.
Which is a card that boosts the power of befanged creatures. It gives like a bonus to like a wide range of monsters.
Yeah. Damn, just like that, the Club Penguin servers go offline yet again.
They armed the penguins, but it wasn't enough.
Damn it, how will we compete in the Club Penguin banned percent speedrun now?
Yeah, now that we've burned the servers. But yeah, the Beast Fangs, they're good.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm hopeful we're able to get them.
We have to sit through a lot of nonsense to get them.
Sure. Because effectively you're just gonna like create an impenetrable-esque wall and just let him burn through his cards.
Yes. Although if he doesn't make some kind of fusion, I'm gonna have to shift plans a little, because since you always go first, you always start out with less cards. One less card than your opponent.
That does seem to be the disadvantage of going first.
You can get a pretty high rating if you do other stuff. If you activate spell cards and then knock them out when the decks are almost empty.
Gotcha.
So that might have to be the strategy we switch to if he doesn't make any fusions here. And that one doesn't count because that was already on the board, which is awesome.
Are there any like restaurants or like food chains that you just refuse to eat at?
I mean, none come to mind.
Oh, triple foods.
I haven't had the KFC in a couple years just because I've been unimpressed with it. But I haven't like sworn never to go back there. It just
Sure.
sucked, so I don't go there.
Yeah, that's fair. So I have three. Two are relatively justified. One has nothing to do with the quality of service or like product that was offered. But McDonald's.
You know that the story is gonna be good when it starts with two of them are justified.
Two are justified, one's a meme. So firstly, McDonald's. Okay. Say what you will about like the quality of food or whatever. You know, you could even come in here like Jamie fucking Oliver and be like, it's a pink paste because they make the food. Do you want to eat this? And I'm like, yeah, I understand that like food doesn't always look appetizing when it's being made. I'm not a fucking dolt. Unlike you, Jamie Oliver. This is an actionable threat. As I say nothing afterward. Anyway, so fuck Jamie Oliver. That said, I've had food poisoning twice in my life that was like bad enough to like force me to be bedridden for a period of time. Both times were after eating McDonald's. And so, in my head, either third time's a charm and it's the most amazing thing I've ever had, or third time's a charm and it finally just kills me. And I'm not gambling on those odds. So, no thank you. I will not have McDonald's ever again. Second is Burger King, specifically because genuinely like 20 years ago, one of their guys chose to spit in my sister's drink, and we have not gone back. Like, we as a family have not gone back since. Fuck them. So, the third is Red Lobster. And again, like, they didn't do anything specifically. Like, I can't think of a single time that I ever went to Red Lobster where I, like, didn't have at least a time. You know, never, like, blew me away, but it's the kind of place you go where, like, you know, there's a graduation or, like, celebration, birthday, some sort, right? Like, it's, you know, you're not going there for, like, Tuesday night's meal. But we were watching the History Channel back when they, you know, talked about history.
Yeah.
And they had a program on about the bubonic plague, the Black Death, that was just called The Plague. And it, like, if I remember it correctly, it covered, like, how they think it started to, like, all the way to, like, modern ramifications of how this all went down. And, for anyone who doesn't know, the History Channel, maybe they still do, I don't know, I genuinely haven't watched their content in, a time. But they used to accept sponsorships from folks in different companies. And it would read off, like, you know, D-Day, like, Normandy Invasion, brought to you by Home Depot, and, like, you know, it would do the little, like, sponsored ad segment, right? So, we were all sitting there as The Plague, brought to you by Red Lobster, and we were like, time out. Hold on. No, you can't just say that. Someone had to green light Like, the plague brought to you by Red Lobster. And ever since, our family has just been like, no, you can't go to Red Lobster, they give you the plague. That one was extra fun back back when I did more like client work, because I had a client who was like, oh, we should go to Red Lobster. I'm like, we really shouldn't. Why not? I'm like, do I take the time to explain this like ancient family like just, like, thing that happened, or do we just call it quits? and I suck it up and I go and eat at Red Lobster, and then I actually get the fucking plague. Knowing my like restaurant luck, that's just what's gonna end up happening.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds like you have like weirdly bad luck with restaurants.
Yeah, the only other time, like, so I keep telling people, this is another one. I can't tell you what the best cup of coffee I've ever had is. Some of the best coffee I've had has been from like a little local shop that I won't name in the interest of not doxing myself.
Right.
But Red Robin, hands down, the worst cup of coffee I have ever had. And it wasn't their fault, mostly. I'm aware that if you go to a kind of like, you know, pseudo-American dine-in, like drive, like diner, was it like diners, dives, and what the fuck else
Diners,
does
drive-in, and dives.
That's the one. If you're going to a place like Red Robin, you're not going for the coffee. But like, I went with a friend, it was like later at night, and like, yes, I had shit to do in the morning, but I was also like enjoying my time with my friend. So I requested a cup of coffee, and the lady was like, oh, I can brew you up a fresh pot. And I'm like, go for it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, by all means, if you're offering, I'm not going to say no to that. Please do not give me the coffee that's been like sitting on the burner since 8 a.m. You know, she brings me the cup of coffee, she brings me the thing of creamers, and here's where my mistake was made. Because typically, like, I don't know if I should necessarily point to the truth of the matter, which was I grew up in an alcoholic household, and so I have a habit of sniffing either the thing I'm about to drink or the container that I'm about to pour like a given liquid into, even if I'm aware it's non-alcoholic. That is just a thing I do. But I've had people comment on it, like when I visit their house and they hand me a glass and the first thing I do is sniff it before I like go over to the water thing and fill it up. But anyway, so if I'm at a restaurant, I'm typically in enough of a like quote unquote comfortable environment that I don't do that. Now, it's not to say I should have done it here, because it wouldn't have helped me. Because, like, the coffee was fine. The cup the coffee was served in was fine. Like, it wasn't chipped, there was nothing inherently wrong there. But, and here's where this whole scheme went to hell. I poured in, you know, the requisite sugar, because like, it's drip coffee, it's Folgers, it's not good, and I knew it wasn't gonna be good. I could not have anticipated how bad it was going to be, though. After I poured those little like creamer cups in there. I opened up like 2 or 3, poured them in, stirred it around, and I'm talking to my friend. I'm not paying attention to the like texture of the cup of coffee. Liquid Beast.
Pour yourself a cup of Liquid Beast.
Liquid Beast. They sure did. Because the thing about those like creamer like cups is that they don't necessarily expire. Like they do, but what I failed to recognize until I took a sip. I can't even call it a sip because it was just of like a fucking full-sized gulp as my friend's talking to me. And I felt so bad because I just put up a finger to like ask them to pause their story as I then proceeded to like spit everything back into the cup I had just drank from. I felt terrible because this particular friend is like, I hate backwash, I hate like watching liquid come out of anyone's mouth. Like it genuinely makes me nauseous if I watch anyone like vomit. And fair, I wasn't gonna argue that, but she had to sit there and watch me like this whole like mouthful of coffee back into the cup because those little cups, upon further inspection, had been like partially crushed and the seals had cracked. And on top of that, because I guess the waitress noticed that I had like held up a finger and just casually like blah. So she came over and was like, "Is everything okay with the coffee?" And I was like, "Can we check those creamer cups? Because something ain't right with those specifically." She's like, "Oh, I can bring you another coffee." I'm like, "No, I'm good. Let's just see what's going on with those." And she went back and checked, and this was a couple of years ago. God, it probably would have been like 2018, I want to say, when this happened. Yeah, it had to be 2018. And they had expired like 2 years prior.
Oh no.
It was like, I recognize that fucking nobody orders coffee in a Red Robin except for my insane ass. But god actual damn. I've worked in a kitchen. I know what the process looks like when you go through and make sure that nothing's expired. How were these missed? Yeah, it was that again, hands down, worst cup of coffee I've ever had. That said, still better than Starbucks, and still like it gives me an appreciation for every cup of coffee I have moving forward, because I'm like, unless it straight up kills me, I don't think I could have a worse cup of coffee. I think I've found the bar.
We found it. The worst cup of coffee.
We've done it. I don't know. When it comes to coffee, I feel like I've also just inherently made some blunders. My personal favorite still is I was on my way. I think I was on my way up to Idaho, and I stopped at a little like mom and pop coffee shop, and the sweet barista behind the counter, as I walked up, she like reached both her hands forward and tapped on a little, like, sign that she had next to, like, the card reader. And it explained, like, hey, I'm mute. Go ahead and order, and I'll, like, you know, I will do, you'll lose. I'll do everything I can to, like, work with you, but please be patient with me. And my helpful ass is learning sign language. So I was like, no problem. And I started signing and asking for, you know, just a cup of coffee, and pointed to the flavor I wanted. And she blinks a couple of times and mouths, "I can hear you." I had to, like, slump back and be like, oh. I'm being helpful in the wrong direction. Yay. Oh, shit. Fucking Griggle. God damn it. Piece of shit. What? Worst cup of coffee? Red Robin. Worst fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card? Griggle. I feel like I'm just doing Strong Bad's bottom 10 now. It's like the 10 worst things that have ever fucking happened to me.
Next up on my bottom 10, dry t-shirt contest.
Contests. Never see a greater waste of not water.
Or a more degrading contest.
Oh, that does remind me. Have you ever been to Tucano's, Aaron?
Yes. Many years
Cool.
ago.
For anyone who doesn't know, Tucano's is like a Brazilian meat palace with a salad bar stapled to it. They hire
meat palace.
It's the best one I could think of. There are these very handsome gentlemen who they hire who will come around with big slabs of meat, like roasted pineapple, veggies, like all the fixins, right? But there's pork, there's ribs, there's fucking, like, they have fish if you're into that sort of thing. Like, you know, all sorts of, like, wings and like, you know, cuts of meat, right? Capital M, meat. And there's this funny little, like, thing they give you, where you're supposed to, like, it's a red, yellow, green, like, stick, or, like, post, and you're intended to, like, set it to green when you're, like, ready for them to bring meat around, and it's just a rotating, like, the guys come over, they carve it for you, you know, you put it on your funny little plate. YOLOs. But they, you know, they also have, like, a salad bar. There's all sorts of, like, other fixins. It's effectively a buffet where the main course is, like, brought to you by very attractive men. And through all of that, you know, my family's been going there for years. It's sort of a, like, special occasions Red Robin-esque place. You know, lots of like celebrations happened there. And I never, like, saved enough room, like, even when I did, because they bring the desserts around, and it's this platter of, like, cheesecake, flan, creme brulee, like all these like exotic and nice like looking desserts. And they bring it around because they're like, you know, any room for dessert? And my family was always like, no, or like, it's too expensive. You know, we're gonna pass. And so years and years and years of like wanting that fucking cheesecake, because it seriously was some of the best looking cheesecake that they bring around on these platters. And you know, my family over and over and over, just like, no, next time we'll pass, all these other good things. Well, finally, I went there with some friends of mine to, like, celebrate, what were we celebrating? Good luck, I don't even remember. Anyway, we were celebrating, and I was effectively, like, third wheeling on a date, but more specifically wanted to like pay their way and, you know, do a nice thing for them as part of the celebration. She had just graduated, that's what it was. She had just like finished her bachelor's in college. This friend of mine and her boyfriend. So we went to Takado's. I was like, hey, my treat, we'll celebrate. It'll be great. And the waiter comes around and he brings the dessert platter. And I'm like, you bet your sweet fucking bippy I'm gonna try me some of that cheesecake. I've been waiting decades by this point
my
to
whole
try.
life has
I've been waiting my
that cheesecake.
Goddamn life. And you know, he's like, great, wonderful, I'll have him bring some out. A second, even more attractive young man brought out just this nice little thing. And to my credit, I offered to let, like, those two share it, or even if they wanted their own dessert. But they had gorged themselves on all the capital M meat that had been happening. So, you know, they didn't save room for dessert. That's fair. They made the correct choice. And I didn't realize this until I took my first bite and sat there for what felt like several minutes, because the waiter came over and he's like, how is it? You know, you were really excited. I'm like, if this cheesecake was shown a picture of a raspberry, it wasn't looking. What the fuck is this? It's like, it wasn't like rotten or anything, but it genuinely tasted like cardboard. Like, there was no fruit flavoring to it at all. It was, like, I had to sit there and wonder if I had been served the, like, plastic one that they keep on, like, the display tray on accident. But it was baffling, because as far as, like, all of my food science could tell me, and, like, I took it apart with my fork, and, like, there was no foam, there was no, like, haha, gotcha, like, note attached to it. For all intents and purposes, I could tell that this was, like, a real cheesecake that they had willingly chosen to serve to me, as some kind of sick joke. It's just, I was fucking blown away by how bad it was, and how, like, incredibly disappointing that, how that just whole experience was. Not necessarily my worst, like, that was hands down the worst cheesecake I've ever fucking had. But I had a separate, like, this would have been, yeah, this was post pandemic, when I was living on my own. I did this thing for a while where I kind of like dated myself just to try to figure out what I actually liked and what I wanted out of life. And as part of that, I was like, fuck it. So I went to Tucanos on my own. Did not realize that this was a mistake for a reason that I didn't anticipate. The mistake was not the price. It's actually pretty reasonably priced when you're just like one guy horking down as much meat as you can handle. Mm-hmm. My problem specifically originated from... Alright, so I was in JROTC, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, for anyone who doesn't know. And, you know, military cadets in training, all these other good things. Hooray, wonderful, love it. When you are the commanding officer of a legion of hungry teenagers, the only places that can possibly accommodate, like, feeding the group were, like, all-you-can-eat buffets, your Chuck-A-Ramas, your Cracker Barrels, what's the other one? I swear there's another
Golden
one.
Corral.
That's the one. Your Golden Corrals, all the, you know, where white people respawn after they die. All these kinds of things. So, yeah, the only way you can reasonably feed like 20 to 25 hungry cadets is a place like that. And our unit specifically developed a fucking capital S strategy when it came to all-you-can-eat buffets. You know, fuck the bread, fuck the salad bar, only meats, right? That's it. That's all you're getting. Because I appreciate that this guy is just like, oh, anyway, here's the Abrahamic god.
I thought it was more of like a Zeus.
A Zeus. A monster that judges wrongdoers and punishes them appropriately. Uh-huh.
Kaminari attack.
Anyhow, so I have a holdover of that from my time in my unit where we would just do meat, right? Because bread, carbs, breadsticks, all these things are meant to like fill your stomach before you actually start eating, right? They also digest super fast, so you are hungry sooner with all those, and I hate the term empty carbs. But as far as our unit was concerned, we just meat products. You could occasionally have like a bit of pizza at the end of like everything, but generally speaking, like we just had plates piled with just meat. And I think the only reason our unit never went to Tucanos is we might have actually genuinely been asked to leave. Like, you are eating us out of house and home. Goodbye.
We have no more meat. Please leave.
Please leave. So, over a decade after that, just a couple years ago now, because this would have been like 2022, 23. Yeah, I think it would have been 2022. I went, and I was like, fuck it, and I went to Tucanos on my own, and I kept this mentality from my unit, right, of like just the meat. I'm just gonna make like, you know, not that I was like penny pinching. I could 100% afford like the meal and the fixins and whatnot. But god damn it, I have to pay homage to my people, right? I can't turn my back on all of this training that I've been through. Because I'm not a fucking coward. I'm an idiot, but I'm not a coward. And it all backfired because I failed to account for one thing. I don't have a small stomach. This I've always known. But when you eat with other people, there is a process, especially if it's like, you know, you're all cadets. You're all making jokes, you're laughing, you're giggling, even like going with family, right? There's awkward politic talk. There's all manner of like other things that normal families presumably talk about over dinner. You know, all these sorts of good things. But when you're alone with your thoughts of fork and a pile of meat in front of you, you don't stop to talk. And I learned that the term meat drunk isn't like hyperbole, it's real. I genuinely, like, after almost half an hour, I'm sitting there like woozy in my seat, just like, oh god, what have I done? I have made a critical lapse in judgment, and there is no one here to save me. I have to walk my ass home after this. I was so incredibly dumb. Like, I genuinely had to undo my belt and like sit back for a bit. And the guy came over with a thing of pork, and he was like, "Hey, you good?" And I was like, I honestly don't know how to answer that question. He was like, "Cool," and took my little like green totem thing and turned it to red. Continued this route. And I couldn't muster the energy to thank or curse him. I just had to sit there like, yeah, it's probably for the best. Also, the casualness of which he did it. I'm like, this is not the first time this handsome young lad has had to deal with someone making terrible decisions. Oh. That said, yeah, mistakes have been made on a myriad of sweets.
Wow.
I do also know every time that time especially, but every time I go to a place like Tucano's, I don't know, I feel like I get kind of a repertoire with the handsome servers, mostly because I'm softly hitting on them for most of the time, but also outside of that, I have a difficult, if not willing, like aversion to saying no. Like, I will if I'm getting genuinely full or it's something I'm just not in the mood for, but one of the things one of their specialties, right, the Brazilian decadence, as they call it, are, like, roasted chicken hearts. And they're so fucking good. They're so goddamn good. And I say yes every time, and the enthusiasm of which I deliver that yes gets a lot of those guys energized, because they're like, fuck yeah, we could bring this king a, like, horrendously poisoned meal, and he'll thank us for the privilege. And I'm like, goddamn right, keep them coming, Esteban, let's go. And, the only time I can't say yes is when they bring, like, salmon around. And I remember I had one guy who was like, eh? And I'm like, no, and he's like, oh, come on, you don't like fish? I'm like, I love fish. I'll fuck up a tilapia. Like, halibut? Yeah, I'm scorching it down, or scarfing it down, but I am allergic to salmon. I can't have it. This is the greatest irony as a bear.
I just imagine you sitting there like, oh, do you want this? And you're like, the only thing keeping me from eating that meat is you.
You win. Like, yeah, the only reason it is not currently in my mouth is because if I were to ancient brain, the only reason that it is not in my mouth right now is because if I put my mouth on your skewer, you ask me to leave. Neither of us want that, so please put it on my plate so that I may transfer it to my mouth. It's like, unless you want to do like the like fancy like Japanese steakhouse thing where they like cook it in front of you and they like whip the shrimp and other shit into your mouth while you're sitting there watching the show. Like, if you want to do that with the entire like skewer slab of roasted pork, yeah, I guess I did say Japan, didn't I? Here you go.
For a second, I thought you were gonna stop at whip the shrimp. Just like no further context. They're just like, yeah. Like a lion tamer.
Like, yeah, back! Stop frying that rice! Get back! No, like, if you wanna like do the teppanyaki thing with that entire slab of roasted pork, be my guest. I will unhinge my jaw and make everyone else in this restaurant uncomfortable. I know Griggle is, like, critical to the strategy, but I'd really just rather he not.
Griggle is
I've been blabbering. I've been blabbering so much I almost spurted out. Like, Griggle is the Pokemon equivalent of that fucking cheesecake I had. I feel like we're not playing Pokemon.
Yeah, fun fact. Griggle is not a Pokemon.
Again, to quote you, it's not giving, it's taking.
It's taking.
I don't even remember what I was showing you that led you to spurt that out. But
the Ken Penders.
Yes,
Sonic comic.
Yes, that's right. It was where the art changed, and I was like, it's giving, and you're like, it's not giving, it's taking, and we spent the next half hour laughing. So goddamn funny.
Just genuinely, like, some of the ugliest art I've ever seen. Like,
speaking of weird, oh yeah, not to cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, not to just, like, join in on, like, ragging on Mr. Penders. I'm sure he gets enough of it. But, wow. Just, it's impressive.
Yeah. You're looking at it, you're just like, remarkable. He's like, is that a good thing? Like, not expressive.
But, what were you gonna say?
I can't remember if we talked about the, like, Wonder Bread guy last time.
Yes. I
Okay.
don't think it was last time. I think it was the time before last.
The very first stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when the stream died.
That's right.
The stream was just like, oh, we can't handle that. You can't have that on Twitch.
Well, I'm just sitting here, now I'm wondering, like, did the Wonder Bread guy ever reach out to Ken Penders? It's like the crossover we never knew we didn't need.
Mr. Penders, your mission, did you choose to accept it?
Oh. I'm also glad you and Ash got a kick out of the my weird dreams from time to time. for the viewing audience, I have like fairly lucid dreams. Like there are times where it can actually be difficult for me to tell whether or not I'm dreaming. There are some like tells that I have, but generally speaking, like if I will my arm to move, it moves. Like if I speak, I'm speaking. Like, you know, it has been reported by former partners and my sister, whom I trust above all else, that I do very much talk in my sleep. But all of that to say, God damn it, Gregor. Oh, pardon me.
Mr. Chain.
Thank you, Crimson Sunbird. We love you, Crimson Sunbird.
Destroy Gregor with prejudice.
With vitriol and prejudice coursing through his veins. Where was I? Right, so I have these like fairly lucid dreams. And in one of the ones I had, I think this happened like late last year, but I was some kind of like detective or private investigator, and there was this wizard going around like fucking shit up and being a menace. And I was chasing after him, and he's just casting all kinds of like spells and being a nuisance. Like, and we're like downtown, like high-rise buildings. I'm chasing him like between busy streets and like back alleys. And at one point, like, a woman was, like, walking in front of, like, one of the alleyways, and he shot a spell at her that turned her into a car. He then, like, got in the passenger's seat, shuffled his way across the seats, and got out the other side. And, like, continued running while I vaulted over the vehicle to continue chasing him. And I finally cornered him, right? I had him dead to rights. I had my gun drawn on him. And he's like, I have one more trick for you. And I'm like, no more tricks. You're done. He was like, oh, just one more. And he snapped his fingers, and I woke up to my alarm. And I was laying there fuming. It's like, God actual damn it. And he did not cause my alarm to go off to wake me up so that he could escape and continue his wizardly shenanigans. No, you don't get to do this.
Oh.
Indubitably.
Have you ever had a dream where like something was happening and you're like, oh, I'm really interested in this, and then you like wake up and you like quickly go back to sleep
To try to finish the dream. Yeah. It never fucking works. It's always something different. And I'm like, damn it.
Basic insects. This card has always been weird to me because he's like a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he look like that?
Why is he just labeled soldier? Damn. Really just defeated fucking Robotnik's like Mark 1 robot, huh? That goddamn Yugi! He pissed on my fucking wife! Ooh, flame ghost, huh?
A flame ghost, yeah. Way better than unflamed ghosts.
Just regular old ghost. Oh, I guess I could talk about the while we're talking about the worst and food. At one point, we had my nephew staying over for a sleepover with Boyo, and I still feel so fucking bad about this. It was a Saturday, and I'm like, all right, boys, like, don't stay up too late, but like, I'm gonna make you pancakes in the morning, and like, I make them from scratch, right? And you know, threw all the ingredients in there, mixed everything together, fried them up, did all the good things. And I handed the plate to my nephew, because he's our guest. I was like, all right, you first. Here's the maple syrup. Here's all the good things. You know, dished up a few more pancakes, handed them to Boyo. And, like, I don't know. I don't want to accuse my nephew of being a picky eater, but he kind of made a face after he took the first bite. And I internally, I was like, what? Not enough sugar for you, kiddo? Like, all right. And then Boyo made a face when he tried his. I was just like, all right, you're both sleepy. It's still early. And then I made myself a plate. It was like I'd popped a 9-volt battery into my mouth. I'm like, oh God, yeah, what happened? You know, what happened was, after I checked my ingredients, I had not put baking powder. I had put exclusively baking soda in there. So I took that first bite. It was just like, all right, boys, who wants pizza? I don't think I'll ever recover from that one. Especially when he made that face, and I'm just like, okay, sweaty, like, whatever you need. It's obviously a skill issue. And then Sin Car.
I don't know what Sin Car is. It's probably not good.
You see, when the devil drove down to Georgia, he drove in the Sin Car. And a mouth for blasting laser beams, huh?
Yep.
Damn.
This game has a very liberal interpretation of the term two heads.
Yeah. I did see the upside down portion of the face. Will it let you go into a fight with less than 40 cards, or is it?
No.
You have to have. Okay. Figured, didn't wish to assume.
No more, no less.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Sith. Except like a lot of them.
The thing about the Sith is there can only ever be 2 of them. Now please watch the entirety of the Clone Wars series, where I lose the ability to count on both hands how many Sith Masters there are. Fucking Griggle.
Fucking Griggle.
Thank you, Flower Wolf. Oh, Flower Wolf? I'm pretty sure I follow them on Fur Affinity.
That does sound like a furry artist handle. Oh, good for you. You know you got them when they turn all their cards sideways.
And I throw.
Well, in this case, it is kind of the best option.
Sure.
Just because they don't have any counter to what I'm doing. Although then they immediately went and made another flower wolf, like they could just do that. Bonehead.
It's my OC, do not steal!
Do not steal. I feel like there's no way that can possibly work.
No way what could possibly work. Stealing an OC.
No, saying, oh, it's my OC, do not steal. Like, if the person reading that respects, like, the social convention of creativity enough to follow that request, they don't need to be told.
I mean, I think that is part of the joke with it is just like a very juvenile, like, outlook on art and the ideas of, like, ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not to say that it's, like, exclusively, like, younger individuals that I've seen making those kinds of, like, posts, but it definitely has, like, a teenage angst at the very least to it. There is one that is hilariously more along, like, that I see more frequently than original OC Do Not Steal. And it's original species Do Not Steal.
What?
People will come up with, like, some sort of hybrid animal or, like, alien creature. And will, like, from my understanding, in some of the worst cases, will actually go and, like, file a, like, legitimate, or maybe not legitimate, but at least a, like, valid copyright. And, like, if anyone does, like, fan art of their shit, they get struck. Or threatened with takedowns or legal action. It is pretty rare. I don't see it terribly often. But it may shock you to learn that a like generally pretty inclusive and, like, creativity and sharing based community such as the furry community does not tend to look very favorably on that sort of behavior.
Right. Hey, thanks for the raid,
Oh, howdy. Wind Sunrise.
Yeah. That's always a nice surprise.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Raiders. Hope your evening's going well. Aaron is just grinding for cards here while I shoot the shit about weird, wacky, and wild things. Oh yes, and the furry discourse. You have to. Of course, you get raided during the furry discourse from talking about people being weird about original species.
Right.
Yeah, stuff that I see from time to time that has like original species don't create any OCs that are part of this species, or I'll copyright you. Like. And then you sit there and watch as they're like, how come no one's getting commissions from me? And it's like, because you're a shithead. It's not really a more complicated answer than that. Oh. Well, how was your stream, Sunrise? What were you doing? If you don't mind me asking. You're a... I for a moment read that as you're a baby. Like, oh, you were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Guide to the Mountain Mage. Aaron, I don't think we've set a precedent for this. Can I play death sounds for chatters?
Yeah, I guess.
Cool.
Wow.
You died to the mountain mage, and he called you an idiot. Oh, you should cancel him on Twitter. It's the only valid response. What a guy!
We
God
haven't
damn.
we haven't even gotten to the mages yet. I have, I've played this game before, but I have not yet gotten to introduce Kodiak here to the mages yet.
Yeah. What is making this playthrough fun is your knowledge about Yu-Gi-Oh! And me, who has only seen, like, the occasional stray meme. And me making, like, deliberate shithead jokes about, like, the way things are gonna go. Before you being like, hold on, and then it happens. Are we doing A-Techs?
Yes, we are doing A-Tech.
Fair enough.
I'm looking for Beast Fangs. Then I'm gonna go look for some dragons to add to my deck.
Oh, aren't we all always looking for dragons?
Oh, is that how it works? Oh, well, I'm glad you're here then.
Well, thanks for joining. The vote of confidence is always appreciated.
It's overwhelming, honestly. That sounded sarcastic. It was sincere.
Sorry, I can't get over your delivery sometimes, Aaron, because it wasn't sarcastic. It was sincere. Sounded like a doubling down on the sarcasm.
No, like, legitimately.
Yeah, no, welcome all.
I was playing Warhammer one time with one of my good Warhammer buddies, and I don't remember what I said, but
John Warhammer.
I made some kind of remark about how I'm just waiting for him to win so that I can walk home. Because he was my ride to this particular game store, which is like several towns over. So this is like completely a joke. And he just turns to me and like blinks, and then just says, "Aaron, no one does like, curmudgeonly stubbornness as good as you. And, like, completely sincere compliment about something that, like, is not a compliment.
Your other one that fucking killed me is when I did the, like, blowing up the Lego Cybertruck video, and I sent you the, like, Lego Cybertruck that I genuinely spent, like, 30 seconds creating. And I was like, it just looks so fucking goofy. And your response is something to the effect of, like, yeah, it is pretty stupid looking. Yours is pretty funny, too. And it took me out. I was done. Oh. Yeah, I'm a little sad we weren't recording for that one. So I think some of the best laughs I've recorded. I was going back through and I was like, should I do a like Kodiak laughter compilation? Because there are a lot of times where I'm just like, you know, hyena cackling at some stupid bullshit. The one that fucking got me as I was going through again was when we were playing Deep Rock. And Jared hit me with the, like, Dad.
Yeah. This is not what I wanted.
You are not what I wanted. Dad! Me just, oh my god. He's only got 2 cards left. I don't think he has it, Aaron. I don't think he has the heart of the cards.
Wow, you think so?
Or the heart in the cards. I don't know.
This drop is gonna be crazy? I hope so. I've only done this like 15 times on stream this playthrough.
Yeah, up to this point we talked about what? The worst coffee I've ever had, the worst food I've ever made. You win. I feel like Nuclear Mac would be on that list, but I was never dumb enough to try it. God damn it, another fucking bear trap. I don't appreciate all these traps.
No traps for you specifically.
They're specifically made for me. It's a Lego bear trap for a Lego bear. I'm like, god damn it.
Alright. Once again.
Here we go. Should I tell the Nuclear Mac story? I know I've gone over that one so many goddamn times, but it's genuinely a fucking experience.
You might as well.
Fair enough.
We got time.
So for anyone, we are just kind of killing time here. For anyone who doesn't know, both of my parents have like a background as chefs. You know, I grew up cooking. I generally had the kitchen. My parents had the kitchen. We were all cooking. It was great. We'll ignore the rest of the familial trauma. But all of that said, I came home from... Yeah, I am going to tell it in this order. I came home from work. I had just graduated high school. And so, you know, I'm tired. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'd worked like a late shift. And I open the door into the kitchen. You know, what should be a like normal coming home endeavor. Except I was pepper sprayed by just the ambient air. It's just latent in the kitchen. Fucking Griggle. God damn it. Out here interrupting stories and shit. Piece of ass. Yeah, yes, I have chosen Griggle as my target for abuse. Thank you, Fiend Reflection number 1. You really were the real MVP.
Stop cheering on the enemy cards.
The thing is, I believe in you, and they killed Griggle, so I have to congratulate them.
I have answers to this, but I'm trying not to use cards.
Sure. So I'm on the patio recovering for a bit. 'Cause, you know, that's terrible. As someone who has been pepper sprayed, not for any, like, legitimately concerning reasons, but just because my brother and I are fucking idiots and decided to see what it would feel like. Spoilers, it sucks. But as someone who has been pepper sprayed, I think I would genuinely prefer that experience to walking into that kitchen again under those circumstances. Because once I recovered and was able to come into the kitchen and start, like, actually processing what the hell was going on, I discovered my dad and my adoptive brother sitting on the couch, furiously fighting each other for a gallon of milk. And they're like, the mac, you gotta try the mac and cheese, as they're like fighting each other to get the milk again. And I make the mistake of going and looking in the pot that was on the stovetop. And this is not a small pot. This is like a 10-gallon stock pot. Like this is a large pot of mac and cheese. And it was an uncomfortable orange. Like darker than a Cheeto. Like a color that no mac and cheese should be.
I love the phrase. An uncomfortable orange.
It was genuinely hard to look at. And the reason it was genuinely hard to look at is when my brother and my dad were cooking, quite literally, they wanted to add spice. And they had jalapenos, they had habaneros, they had, like, you know, red pepper and all these other kind of, like, you know, like straight fucking cumin to add to this. And that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough for my dad and my brother. So, my dad sent him to, like, the grocery store to get more spices, to get more stuff. And while he was away, you know, my dad is rather, like, prolific individual. He makes friends pretty much everywhere he goes. And one of his friends had traveled to South America and had brought back for him a container, a not at all small container, of ghost pepper extract. And the thing about ghost pepper extract is they give you a little, like, liquid, like, plunger to be able to, like, do dollops, like, individual, like, drops.
Like
these
eyedroppers.
Yeah, it's like a little eyedropper. And I saw that sitting off to the side next to a completely empty container of ghost pepper extract. Because these heroes, these geniuses, used the entire goddamn thing for one pot of mac and cheese. A large pot of mac and cheese, granted. But, like, a drop or 10 of these is enough to, like, kill most white people, let alone, like, our family. So, they charitably referred to it as nuclear mac. And Yabear went to bed hungry, because I'm not fucking eating that. And I'm not staying in the pepper spray kitchen for long enough to make myself actual dinner. So I went to bed. I was like, I'm dealing with this in the fucking morning. I don't want any part of this. My sister is so thankful that she was like out of town with some friends during that weekend, because my dad and my brother were just home bored. We're like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Whatever. And that was nuclear mac. I never tried it. I can only imagine that my taste buds would, to this day, still not work, had I.
Do you ever follow up with Austin? Like, hey, do you feel like your sense of taste is different having consumed the nuclear mac?
So for context for folks, Austin is my brother. Humorously enough for this aspect, he has struggled with stomach ulcers like since. So I think it genuinely did like permanent damage to his digestive tract.
Yeah.
Whether or not he can taste anything, I think he can. I haven't specifically asked.
I speculate that he can still taste.
I speculate. Well, part of the reason I say that is he lived with his uncle for a bit there. To give a light idea of the dynamic, like, his family is kind of scattered and weird. His parents were not great either. And, you know, he had a hard upbringing. Austin did not have things easy. And so there were a couple of things that contributed to my dad being like, fuck it, I'll adopt you, you're one of my boys. Like, hell yeah. I'm chuckling because this whether I like it or not leads into the Fernando story. But yeah, we had fully adopted him by that point. But before we'd adopted him, and part of what contributed to the actual, like, process of it happening, because Austin and I met in high school. Like, junior year, I had just moved to that new town. He had grown up there or not grown up there, but he'd been there for a while. So I want to say he grew up like in LA. But it's been a while since we've talked about those times. Anyway, he bemoaned at one point that he, parent-teacher conferences were coming up, and he didn't have anyone to go. And so, my dad, who was cooking dinner at that time, sort of turned around and perked up, and he got this like funny twinkle in his eye, and he kind of lit up, and it's like, I would be honored if I could go on your behalf. And my brother, the fucking idiot he is, was like, yeah, I would love that, actually. That would be lovely. Because he was actively ignoring my sister and I off to the side, running our hands along our neck, and doing everything in our power to, like, don't fucking tell him. The parent-teacher conference is coming up. Don't you dare fucking share with him. Because... I say for anyone who doesn't know, I realize we have a newer audience, so it's going to be most of you. The best way I can describe my father and his shenanigans, my dad is kind of a personified Bugs Bunny. There is an infectious nature that he's able to just do bits and get, like, regular stranger adults who are, like, supposedly part of functioning society to go along with these bits and just, like, be part of it. And the thing about parent-teacher conferences is my sister and I had learned from a young age not to tell our dad that parent-teacher conferences were happening. It was just any other school night. Nothing was going on. We deliberately made sure the school did not have his email. You know, a lot of work was done on our end. Because of course, that being brought up for Austin, my dad was like, so do you guys have parent-teacher conferences? And Ani, my sister, just kind of cartwheeled down the stairs in response. And I was like, no, actually, my teachers canceled all of mine. Like, they're all out of town. They're all dead, actually. No, it's a terrible tragedy. Anyway, so it's only Austin's teachers. Now, we lived, like, a short walk from the school. And so Austin, my sister and I just walked over. My dad had to drive from work. And my sister, like, Ani and I knew that it was going to be some shenanigans. We were not ready. Austin was not ready. Austin's teachers could never have prepared for the force of nature that walked through the school doors that day. Because the individual who showed up was the body of my dad. It was him, persona non grata, but it wasn't him that showed up. It was, in fact, he got out of his car and met us at the front of the school, and he's wearing, like, 3 4-inch inseam shorts and a, like, black V-neck that genuinely went down to, like, below his pecs and just, like, slightly above his beer gut. You could see an uncomfortable amount of chest hair through this, like, deep V-neck. He has this sangan. He has this, like, big gold chain. He has shaved his facial hair into, like, a pencil mustache. And he is wearing a genuine godforsaken sombrero. Because the man who walked in to do parent-teacher conferences that evening was, in fact, Fernando. And he did this deep Spanish accent and, like, dry humped the desks while he was talking to the teachers. And, like, they all had good things to say about Austin. Not a single fucking one of them knew what to do with that. Because he's just sort of dancing in the little seat they give you. And they're like, are you okay? Like, do you need something? And he's like, oh, I am just passionate about the education. And like dry humping the desk the entire fucking time. And the poor teacher's looking to my sister and I like, is this a bit? Is he doing a bit? Is this actually this man's father? This is the man who raised you, and he's doing this well in class? My sister and I are just like, we are not related to this individual. We do not know this man. We are simply bystanders to a crime. Yeah, then we went and got Froyo after, and Austin had a modicum of an idea of what it was like to deal with my father's shenanigans. And we looked at him and we're like, you sure you still want to be part of the family? Like now that you know that this is like just a thing that can happen and just a thing you get to deal with this individual being a parental figure. Austin was like, fuck yeah. I need to be part of this family.
You need somebody to look out for you.
No, we got a separate taste of that. So, at a later date, closer to Christmas, he used to work for Christmas. Merry Chrysler. He worked for a company that did like payday loans and check cashing and that kind of stuff. I won't say which, just to protect the guilty. But he, at one point, like, he was a manager. Reminds me of another hilarious story of his. But, he was the manager of one of these locations. He was, as far as the company was concerned, a rock star. And, like, there was enough of a level of separation between the executive team and the actual, like, working individuals. Because the executive team had heard, like, nothing but good things. All these, like, fun stories. And, like, all the ways that, Brando, my dad, was helpful to all of these people. They were not familiar with the capital S shenanigans he got up to. And so, while I was, like, we were there visiting, the executive team came in and were like, hey, Brando, we want you to, like, host this year's Christmas party, right? We usually have, like, an MC who does all the announcements, reads off, like, some of the company rhetoric, like, gives out the gifts, does all these things, and, like, we've heard lots of good things. And I remember my dad just kind of put both of his hands on the desk and was like, are you sure? And I watched the CEO as he's like, yeah, no, you do all this wonderful work. And Brandon was like, no. Are you sure you want me to host? He gave them 4 separate outs. 4 times he was like, are you sure? Are you sure? He was never like, oh, you should reconsider, or like, oh, I'm too humble. No, are you sure? And every time, they're like, yeah, no, we love what you do. We love everything we've heard. And after the 4th confirmation, he's like, okay, I'll host. Now, I told Ani and Austin about this as soon as I got home from, like, visiting him at work, and just like, guys, this is gonna be a time TM. So, of course, we go to the Christmas party, and it's hosted at this, like, big hotel, like, gala event. They, like, rent out the whole area. It's a production. And, you know, we all drove down together. And my dad just has this duffel bag sitting in the back. And the thing that concerns myself and my siblings is not the duffel bag. It was how small it was. It was just this tiny little gym bag. And we're like, okay, we're used to like briefcase shenanigans, right? We're used to like full prom like wedding dresses. We're used to like elaborate schemes. So the fact that he just needed this tiny little workout bag. You bet your bippy he did not tell us what the fuck was going on. No, it was a surprise to everyone but God and himself as to who the fuck was going to be coming up on stage that evening. Because again, we knew one thing. It wasn't going to be Brando.
Bold of you to assume that God is involved.
that God even knows what this man's plans are. This is true.
Sincerely, Kodiak, have you considered that your dad might be some kind of magical creature?
Oh, you cut out. Have I considered that my dad might be...
Have you considered that your dad might be some kind of magical creature?
There's no way it cut out at exactly the same fucking spot. Okay, one more time. The FBI does not want this information getting out.
Have you considered that your dad is some kind of magical creature?
Chad, are you hearing that? There's no way. It cut out in exactly that spot. Like, I'm not doing a bit. He's a what?
Have you considered that your dad might be some kind of magical creature?
Yes. Yes, I have considered this. Results are inconclusive. What I do know is he has definitely calmed down in recent years. Because when I met my spouse and when I was like in the process of dating them and like, okay, I'm gonna introduce you to my family, I'm going to give you an audible and like full consent warning before you meet my father that he does bits, that he does gags, that he does goofs, and to not take a single thing he says with a grain of salt, or like without a grain of salt, because he is a force of nature and an entity. And like it's not personal, he just does this.
Because I hear you explaining that he gave them 4 chances to opt out. And I'm like, what is he, Beetlejuice?
Fucking, but he, alright, so he takes his little duffel bag and he's like, alright, I'm gonna go get ready. I'll see you all up there. So he goes off to whatever mystical Narnia closet he needed to go to. And my siblings and I, we start wandering around the hotel. We make our way to the dining room at about the time the show is supposed to start. And I don't know if the event planners have a sense of humor, but our assigned seats were right next to the executive table. We were not at the executive table, but we were right next to it. So my sister, my brother, and I are near the front row next to the entire executive team. And I just get a look at the CEO just like, I have no possible way of giving you a sufficient amount of warning for what you have agreed to. Because the truth is, I do not know what he has in store. I have no way of projecting or protecting you from what is about to transpire. Now, to announce the MC, They had another guy come up. He did some, like, corporate fluff announcements, all the good kind of stuff. And he did not call Brando out to the stage. In fact, a very upbeat workout mix started. And this MC to the MC introduced, for the viewing pleasure of the entire company, my father personified. And he comes jogging out onto the stage, kicking his feet out, like nearly kicking himself in the ass with the like trot that he's doing as he's like tilting his wrists back and forth. His arms are up and he's wearing exercise anklets, exercise like wristlets, running shoes. I do not know how my dad finds the shortest possible shorts, but genuinely, like, any shorter and you could see this man's junk. Like, exercise shorts, thin little, like, tank top, big ol', like, gold wig afro, and a, like, exercise sweatband. And he did the entire presentation. He did all of the announcements. He did the gift giving. He read out the sponsors for the company in front of the company representatives who were not part of this, like, you know, original company that was hosting the party that he was employed by. He did this entire performance as Richard Simmons. And for anyone who doesn't know, very prolific, very effeminate coded exercise guru, question mark? But like big TV personality from back in the day. And I distinctly remember, as the CEO of this company, partway through this entire like presentation, dance, he had people up out of their seats doing the workout routine with him at a Christmas party that is being hosted for this company. And like, I distinctly remember the CEO looking over at me like I have any fucking control over the man up on the stage. And all I could do was shrug and mouth, "He gave you an out. He asked you 4 times if you were sure." And, yeah, shock and awe, they never asked him to host again. Still one of my favorite fucking nights there. Wasteland.
I didn't waste.
Okay, if I may, so these like middle tiles, not like the darker brown ones, that was about the color of nuclear matte. Like that, okay. That is close. That is uncomfortably close to what it was.
There you go, a visual representation. It's the color of Wasteland.
It's the color of, yeah, that fucking Mac was Wasteland. Can you believe they had the fucking audacity to put it in a leftovers container and then put it in the fridge like any of us were ever gonna fucking touch it again?
Yeah, like someone would don like biohazard gear to like microwave the nuclear Mac back up to temperature to eat.
I felt so bad at the idea of my sister like coming home after like having a lovely weekend with her friends and just like, ooh, mac and cheese, and like opening the container and effectively being pepper sprayed by the mistake that my father and my brother made. White magical hat.
Trash. All we're getting is trash.
Unfortunate. I was not here for this particular instance, but I distinctly remember hearing about it after the fact. So, you know, my sister also cooks, and she was in the kitchen at this, I guess the best way I could describe it is just by what we called it. It was kind of a hostel, H-O-S-T-E-L. Because, like, it wasn't just my sister and I, like, even before we adopted our brother, like, we had other, like, troubled youth and teens who would, like, couch surf there, and, you know, we were an open door for anyone who needed one. And so, it was the hostel, and, my sister was there cooking for, herself, and she had a friend staying over, and I guess the friend wasn't feeling terribly great, so, like, she was laying down in the room, and my sister went to, like, she poured a thing of milk, and she went to go put it back, and it didn't quite, like, she didn't quite make it all the way onto the shelf, and so when she turned away, like, in the same action as closing the fridge door, like, the milk started falling, the fridge didn't close all the way, the milk landed and, like, exploded across the kitchen floor. Now, as my sister tells it, she was, at her time of the month, she was experiencing her period, and so hormones are a thing, and she was feeling rather emotional about, like, making kind of such a silly and basic mistake. And she had other things going on in her life. She, you know, she was stressed. And so she broke down and, like, sunk to the floor and was just crying. And my poor brother, Austin, downstairs, he hears a crash and then my sister crying. And so he comes flying up the stairs, you know, brotherly nature, to check in and see what's going on, and burst into laughter upon viewing the scene. Sister tells it as her looking very angry, because she's so upset, and her good brother comes in and just starts laughing at her obvious misfortune. The fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is your deal? What is your problem? And when he collects himself, my brother's like, I'm sorry, but I need you to understand that you are literally crying over spilled milk. Oh.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same. It was real.
It was real, and it happened. And everyone clapped.
Everyone clapped. I like the mental image of you ending that story with everyone claps. And it's just those two, because they're the only ones in the scene.
They're the only ones there, so they're just clapping at each other. It's just like some poorly written characters in, like, a terrible, like, piece of fiction. Just behaving like real humans do.
That makes me think of, like, a play put on by aliens. They understand that, you know, you clap at the end of a performance, but they have, like, the actors clap instead. Or
I hate to say it, your audio's cutting in and out again.
Oh, wow. I don't... That's so weird. It's always when I have something to say.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. That wasn't.
Okay, but yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying of just like a play put on by like aliens who have a loose grasp on how people behave.
Yeah. They have the actors clap instead of the audience at the end of the play. You saw that in a movie with like the right framing that could actually be kind of spooky.
It's like in what is it? Hamlet in Mass Effect 2, but it's performed entirely by those like creatures that announce their emotion because they speak in such Elcor Hamlet, and it's like a 17-hour long play. I was like, I feel like I would unironically watch that so long as I were permitted like bathroom and like lunch breaks.
You just have to like take a weekend to go see this play.
It's like, hey Kodiak, what are you up to this weekend? I don't know if I need to lie to you, because it's not that I'm ashamed of what my plans are. I just don't know if I have the spoons to actually explain what I'm up to. I feel like I have to lie out of necessity. I appreciate that this music is a bop, because I could definitely see a version of this where it is just grating to have to listen to over and over and over again.
100%. It is such a boon that this music is like pretty catchy. Otherwise, this game would be like such a chore sometimes.
Right.
It almost seems like it knows what to like change up. Change up the sound.
Fucking wriggle.
Wriggle. What does it mean to wriggle?
What does it mean? Oh yeah, to expand on that thing from earlier. Yeah, so my brother and I are fucking idiots. This has been established. We, at one point, we elected to, I can't remember if we were just bored or stupid or both. As there's a, like, in the mall, there's like an Asian gifts store.
There used to be.
Oh, is it not there anymore?
Yeah, they actually closed.
Oh, rip. Now where else will I get my, like, mall ninja sword?
Yeah. Where am I gonna get my wall hanger katana? But, anyways.
Anyhow, yeah, they would, the guy that ran that shop did not give a shit about anything, as I'm sure you know. And so, when my brother and I came into the store and were like, hey, we'd like to buy a taser and 1 can of pepper spray, please. We're definitely 18, audible wink. He was like, yeah, no questions asked, whatever. Your money spends all the same. Yeah, we bought those. We were at least smart enough to stay like near the house just in case like something went horrifically wrong. And I tased him first, and then he tased me once he recovered. And let me tell you, it is a wildly unpleasant experience. It is... Oh, yeah, it's bad. All of your muscles in the area where it hits just kind of activate, whether that means they contract or expand or both. Often both. Because he hit me in the hip, and I collapsed. I was, like, my legs stopped working. And I went down. So once we recovered from that, we were like, whew, okay, pepper spray time. And since he went first on on the tasing, he elected for me to go first on the pepper spray. I felt this was fair. And so we both agreed that it wasn't necessarily like a good idea to have our eyes open during. So he permitted me to close my eyes. And when it first hits your skin, it feels like a real fucking bad sunburn. And then it's all downhill from there. Because it gets up in your nostrils, and even though your eyes are closed, it's still bad. And I made the mistake of bringing my hands up and rubbing. Now, I don't know if you know this, Aaron or viewing audience. Pepper spray, it's tiny little crystals. Tiny little crystals. And when you rub, they cut and actively make it worse. Oh, it makes it so much worse when you rub. And the thing that surprised me is once I recovered, I looked and, like, Austin was like, his nose was running and his eyes were red. And I was like, did you spray yourself while I was having a time? And he's like, no, it was just the backfire, like like some of it sprayed back off of me and hit him in the face. I was like, oh, so you've experienced it? And he's like, no, it's only fair. And so I sprayed him for real, and mine are.
I don't know what that one is, but I bet it's not good. Oh, it's a bug.
Bug.
Oh.
Huh.
Very cool. Very useful.
Very, very cool and good. Sweet Ani, my sister, came out and was just like, what are you chuckleheads doing? And took away both the taser and the pepper spray. And forbade us from ever doing that again. And we're both sitting there like, oh, don't worry, we need no encouragement to never do that again. Because now I know. Now I know exactly how fucking terrible and terrible and awful it is. He spent a lot of cards in that first combo.
Yeah. That's really good. Now I don't have to wonder if he's going to fuse. We can just start the like slow death march towards him running out of cards.
Yep. I'm a little sad that I haven't gotten to do any Sleepy Yugi this episode,
Yeah.
but it's been nice to do story time at the very least.
Considering we made it back to Egypt, there probably won't be any more Sleepy Yugi.
Oh, there probably won't be any more Sleepy Yugi?
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna continue to flesh out the, his friends getting back into Bones.
No. Once you go back to Egypt, that's it.
I like how the big modern tournament is like, it's not the finale, it's just kind of the like, okay, you've gotten done with the appetizer, now to the real meat of the game. And it's like, wait.
Yeah, it's just like a side quest you do.
Yeah. To quote me, how could there be more game?
How could there be more game?
So I imagine these are those priests they were referencing earlier that'll come up and be problems.
Yes. So,
Awesome.
What we discovered last time was that Paishin had taken over Egypt.
Yeah. As you do.
And he gave all of the mages one of the Millennium items to, like, you know, extend his power. So we have to go to each of their temples and beat them up
Classic.
and take their items. But since we don't have the greatest cards right now, we're having a little bit of a hard time over there, so we're trying to make our deck a little more consistent.
Well, I believe in you, and everyone here, including Licorice, who is sprawled out taking a nap, believes in you. Chat, can we get some "we believe in you" emojis? Thanks. I like asking for hyper-specific emojis that I know do not exist.
Just chat, can we get some giving the 2 thumbs up while doing a backflip emojis?
Chat, can we get some dabbing on them hose emojis? Thanks.
Thanks. You'll like this.
Big Beak.
No. Digbeak.
That's what I said? Question mark?
I thought you said Big Beak.
Big Beak. Dig Beak. Yeah, that's a guy.
Why is it called that? Why did they go to that? Big Beak.
The world may never know. Oh, speaking of restaurants that I can't eat at just on principle, I'm reminded, and I hinted to earlier, there is another one. So, as mentioned, my dad was like the manager of this check cashing place, and when he first became like manager, and like it was heartbreaking to a sense because he had like gone back to school to get his certifications to become a teacher. But when the higher management learned that he was gonna leave, they offered him a management position at a competitive salary higher than they would normally give to like a management position, just so that he wouldn't leave. So they wouldn't have to like retrain someone to fill his boots. And, you know, his, like, the manager of his store was stepping down, so he's like, all right, you know, I've put all this work into, like, leaving to do a teaching career, but it is an offer I can't refuse. So he accepted it, and he decided to make it, what actually ended up happening, if I remember correctly, his manager stepped down, a different, like, assistant manager of a different location put in for that location and had already been promised the position before they had asked my dad to, like, stay on as management. So they did some shuffling and they sent him to an entirely different store. But he got there and he's like, all right, I want to make this, like, good for me. I want to make this good for my team. And I need to, he decided I need to do, like, a good, nice surprise thing. So every Friday, I'm gonna buy lunch for my staff. Like, cool, good, wonderful. And so that first Friday comes, and he was like, hey guys, where do you want to eat? Like, lunch is on me, today. And they were like, oh, that's so lovely. And they, like, deliberated back and forth. And all of his employees, after a little bit of back and forth, they all agreed they were all really in the mood for Cafe Rio. And I was like, okay, all right. You're like, that's within the budget. I'll pop over there, grab everyone's lunches, and then, you know, I'll be back. And so he did that, and a good time was had by all. Wonderful, right? This is actually the end of the story. I jest with y'all. That's just what it is. No, of course not. There's more. So, the following Friday comes up. And he's like, all right, where do y'all want to eat? You know, we got Cafe Rio last week. And they're all like, well, that sounds really good, actually. Can we do Cafe Rio again? And he's like, I guess, if that's what you're all feeling. They're all like, yeah, we all really want Cafe Rio. This proceeded for about 6 months. Every Friday, him just go into, and like, I visualize it in my head and in my head canon of how this went down for him. You know when Squidward like moves to the town of all Squidwards, and he's just like going through his dream routine and is just getting worn down again and again and again. I swear that had to have been what it was like for him, just going to Cafe Rio, Cafe Rio, Cafe Rio. And I remember his breaking point, because he came home from work a little later, and I left my door open. I was doing homework in my room, and our rooms were right across from each other. And he would usually do like a bum 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 bum, or like some kind of like hola, so just like a big announcement when he got home.
Yeah.
Door opens, door shuts, stomp, 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 stomp into his room. And he has his phone, a phone book, like several printouts in a binder, and a giant whiteboard. So I kind of get up and I'm like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You doing all right? How's it going, sport? You doing all right, champ? And he proceeded to cross-reference his printouts, the phone book, and his own like records. And he wrote down every restaurant within a 10-mile radius of their location. And he filled the whiteboard. He was thorough, to say the least. And this part I was told about afterwards. Because he got home the following day, and I obviously wanted to know. It was a Friday the following day. I wanted to know what the follow-up was. Ooh, revival of Skeleton Rider. Neat.
Oh man, that's great. Awful. Even if I wanted to use this, this is so big.
Just revival. But as he, I followed up with him, just like, so what happened with the whiteboard? And he explained that he went in and he hung up the whiteboard in the break room, and he brought all of the employees in, and he pointed to the whiteboard, and the thing is, he'd written Cafe Rio on there. It was about halfway down. And he takes a Sharpie, crosses it out, caps it, and points back and is like, pick somewhere else. And one of the employees was dumb enough to ask, what happened to Cafe Rio? And Brando goes, I burned it the hell down. For the record, he didn't actually, but it humors me to no end that he, in front of them, crossed it the fuck out, and one of them was still like, what happened? Why not?
We want Cafe Rio.
He's like, if you want Cafe Rio, I'll kill you. You can also go get it, you damn self.
Cafe Rio is over.
Friendship with Cafe Rio over. Costa Vida is my new best friend.
Costa Vida.
I cannot on principle go to any Cafe Rio because I know in my heart they've all been burned down in my father's blind rage.
That's funny, I've actually never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. People keep
It's
telling me...
It's extremely mid.
Oh yeah? I know a lot of people love it, they keep telling me it's great. But I've just never been.
I mean, people are allowed to be wrong.
They sure are.
I get people that tell me, like, oh, Chipotle's great! I'm like, it's, like, B tier, sure. I don't know. I've had Chipotle a few times, and I'm just like, I don't understand the hype. Same with was it fucking Popeyes? Everyone shits themselves over Popeyes. And I'm just like, I don't know. I've only been there a handful of times, but it has reached the dizzying heights of like not bad. I'm certain I've made some enemies in your viewing audience.
Maybe. Nobody's complained yet.
That's fair. I know I have been no stranger to taking food opinions and getting people heated over such topics. Still love that I showed our like food debate video to one of my old coworkers, and he was legitimately willing to fist fight me because he thought that I was trying to convince people that if you went to an Italian restaurant or like Olive Garden or something and you ordered a ravioli, that they would actually bring you out an Uncrustable. I was like, no, I'm not insane. I'm just saying, if I had to make, like, Pokemon cards for every food, and I had to decide types for each of the food, that I would put, like, ravioli as a traditional Italian dish, and Uncrustables as the, like, frozen snack aisle item in the same category. I'm not saying that if you order one, you'll get the other.
Although, you, might already be going too far with that statement. But I suppose your Italian Lego, I don't know what to call them.
Darth designer, the guy I work with.
Oh, I know their name.
Oh.
I mean, like, I don't know what specification to put him under.
I see. Acquaintance, perhaps. It's like, he is a friend of mine. I enjoy chatting with him.
He is yet to, fly from Italy to destroy you.
He's like, hello, Cody. I come to the States for one purpose, and he wraps both of his hands around my throat. No, it is still so funny to me because he used to live stream his like designing and the whole like process that went into it. And at one point, like, you know, I would usually give like a generalized like howdy all to like multiple people coming in, But I was feeling a bit like odd about it. Maybe odd is the wrong word. Like I was feeling a little more like personable. And so a few different people popped into the chat and said hi. And so in the same message, I greeted multiple of them at the same time. I had to follow that up because he noticed that I'd said hi to like each individual like person that came in, and he's like, "Oh, Cody, like you usually do the like hi to everybody. You're a little more like you don't have to say hi to every single one." And I was like, well, sometimes it's like pizza rolls or casual sex. Like it's nice to just have the generalization. But other times it's better to take like the more personal approach and be a little nicer with it. And he laughed and he was like, wait, pizza rolls like these. And he like went and got some out of his fridge. And the thing about Italian pizza rolls is it's much closer to what we would consider like a cinnamon roll, but just with like pizza ingredients. I'm like, that looks fucking delicious. I hate to break your heart and tell you that's not what I'm talking about. And he's like, well, what are American pizza rolls? I'm like, I need you to Google Totino's pizza rolls. And he did. And he's staring at these little nuggets. And he's like, what kind of pasta is this? And I'm like, it's not pasta, it's this kind of like spongy bread. And I'm like, they're meant to be like a cheap thing, right? It's not like it's not a food you take seriously. Like this was part of my joke. Like it's something you just kind of throw out there quickly, or make for yourself when you have like extremely low energy. And I watched him like take his headphones off, gently set them on the desk, stand up, go into the other room, and he let out the most hellish screech I have ever heard a human being make. It's just the angriest Italian at learning about Totino's pizza rolls. And I'm just sitting there like, man, stereotypes are just hurtful facts. God damn. He was so incensed by it that he later like messaged me a full like video breakdown on how to make his style of pizza, like the Italian true pizza rolls. And he gave me the mission to, quote, fix America by demonstrating
proper pizza rolls.
And I had to be like, I think your confidence in me is misplaced. I do not think I can fix America specifically by teaching people or making this recipe for folks. But I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Did you ever make the pizza rolls?
Oh god, yeah. They're so fucking good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dave.
Now what?
Can I make a request?
Would you like me to make the pizza rolls?
Yes.
Cool.
Very yes.
Very yes. Absolutely. Now, what was funny to me is the recipe he sent for, like, just the breading for, like, the pizza dough wasn't all that different from what I do for my, like, homemade bread when I make loaves from scratch. What is fascinating, though, and this isn't the only time I've encountered this, obviously ingredients that are available in the US and ingredients that are available in Europe are different. One thing the recipe calls for specifically is beer yeast. And, like, technically we have that here, but it's not European-style beer yeast. Like, what we have is, like, the dry, like, capsules. And you have to, like, activate it to get it to do the funny.
Right.
The other thing I had to remind him and remind myself as I was cooking it is he lives in Naples. And, so, you know, he's at sea level.
Yeah.
And I had to remind him that I'm like, hey, I'm at high altitude. Bread does not behave the same way up here, so I might have to, like, change bits of this recipe to get it to, like, work.
Yeah. Bread does not behave. I like that phrase because it sounds like the bread is just like a disobedient child. The bread does not behave. Bear trap again.
God damn. I'm sorry that I keep attracting all the traps. I cannot move. I cannot go to bed. I'm here for all eternity.
All eternity, indeed. Okay. One more.
I believe in you.
What is he doing? It's a strange behavior for this AI. Yeah. The time where he just refuses to use anything.
It's gonna be a single card march through the entire deck.
The problem is that if he legitimately doesn't fuse anything, then I can't win by deco, because you will always have fewer cards than me if we've used the same number of cards.
Bastard.
And I can't not use card. You know, that's just not how the game works.
Speaking of recipes and actually having the foresight to write them down, there is another thing that I would not be opposed to making for you at some point. Although I need like a grill before I can like do it properly.
Oh yeah.
So I make some pineapple mango chicken fajitas, and yeah, not to toot my own horn, but they are the shit.
Oh. It's a lot more fruit than I had in a fajita, obviously.
So the thing I do with the pineapple and the mango specifically is I sear it, which kind of caramelizes the outside and locks in all the like juice and like gives it kind of a nicer like texture to the outside.
Oh.
Yeah. There it is.
No idea why he bothered, but he did it. That's why I'm happy.
What a guy.
Goddamn disc machine.
Hey yo, somebody killed the DJ.
Big beak. Rude.
Fight fire with fire, they always told me. Instructions unclear, I responded as I set fire to the orphanage that was already burning down.
I don't know what happened. They said to add more fire.
It does remind me, back when I worked catering, we had like a volunteer firefighter who would work with us on occasion, whenever he wasn't volunteering or firefighting. And he, more specifically, at one point was like, did you guys know that, like, some firefighters, like, out of boredom, will go and commit arson just so they have something to do. Like, expecting us all to be shocked and, like, taken aback that, like, good, honest-natured firefighters would do something like that. Only for us to kind of look around and be like, king shit? Hell yeah. Fucking send it, lads. He's like, no, you're supposed to be upset about that. It's like, the thing is, we're not. He's a little boy, he needs enrichment in his enclosure, and if setting fire to something is that enrichment, then so be it. He's gonna fight the fire and be different. Yeah. Did I? Anyway.
I'm just imagining, like...
Freeze! Drop it!
You were saying?
I'm just imagining, like, a firefighter, like, starting a fire and then, like, sprinting all the way back to the fire station to fight the fire.
Yeah. It's like, guys, I was just down at the 7-Eleven. You'll never believe what happened.
And they're just like, Steve, again?
Oh, Steve, you rapscallion. Then audience laugh. Then everyone clapped. Except for the 7-Eleven owner who's like running around. She's like, fuck, my store! Do I tell this story on stream? I guess enough time has passed that it's not, like, immediately evident which gas station it is. So, for everyone who doesn't know, which should be everyone, my work is next to a gas station. And we have, like, a secure facility, there's razor wire, like, it's, you know, a protected zone. Like, the week before, my boss had brought in his old, like, oven, and had asked, like, hey, it still works, but we got a new, like, range at home. We have some old, like, hookups for, like, welders or, like, heavy equipment. Do you think we could hook this up to, like, the wall outlet to one of those old ones, and so we can have, like, a stove and be able to bake and, like, cook in the warehouse? And I'm like, fuck yeah. So I made that my project, and I got everything hooked up and got that all working. It turns out I turned off the wrong breaker, and didn't realize until I fused one of my screwdrivers to part of the terminal. I was like, oh, this one's still live. Good thing this has a rubber handle. But, you know, I got it all hooked up. And like a week after that, I'm, you know, I came into the shop a little early. You know, I made myself some breakfast. I'm cooking up some eggs. For anyone who's cooked eggs, you know, you can't leave them alone, right? The moment you look away, they burn. No, Soundboard's just like, you haven't called on me at all today, so I'm just gonna go off on all of the audio-based ones, even though you haven't said any of the specific words, cockpit. Really?
The soundboard is really not having it today.
Cockpit.
Nice call.
There we go. So, I'm cooking eggs. And as anyone who's cooked eggs knows, you can't leave them alone, right? The moment you look away, they burn. So I'm cooking away. I'm having myself a grand little morning. And my coworker, Fusin, who has, hopped on stream and been part of my stuff from time to time, he pokes his head in, and he's like, "Hey, what you doing?" I was like, I'm making myself some breakfast." He's like, Cool. You should come outside." I was like, "Oh, I can't, man. Like, I'm cooking eggs. I can't leave them unattended." And Fusin's like, "No, we're gonna die. You need to come out here." I was like, "Oh, okay." I picked up the eggs off the burner and carried the pan outside with me. And we look, and he didn't need to gesture, and I still have the pictures from that morning. But the gas station next door, not the pumps, but the building itself, was just engulfed in flames. And I'm looking at that like, huh. Well, so I go back in and finish cooking my eggs. Come on, show me the big money. Big money. Oh, it's a Imagine gun.
Imagine gun. Oh,
it's my,
no. Oh, jeez.
It's my favorite cover band for Imagine Dragons.
Imagine gun.
Imagine gun.
Okay. Alright. Well. Please. Let us go out on your egg story.
Yes. I mean, the soft and short conclusion to that is that I went back in, finished my eggs, and obviously the fire truck showed up and they were having a time fighting the fire. This is pure speculation on my end. I'm like 80% sure they had some kind of like meth lab or like activity happening in the back of that gas station. Like, it was sketchy. There were generally pretty sketchy people that were just like hanging out around there during all hours of the day and night. And it was just like, I don't love it. So when it caught fire and none of those people were anywhere near, it was just like, yep. Fair enough. But the thing that people kept commenting on, like my coworkers would come out just like, oh my god, like we need to we ended up needing to move some of the employees' cars. And the thing is, they weren't like there at the shop. They had taken company vehicles out and had not left their keys. So we had to get the forklift and force tow some of these guys' cars away from the burning building. And yeah, those were some fun damages. But the real fun of it is the fire truck on the street side was like spraying down into the roof, and like those water guns are no fucking joke.
Oh yeah.
And it was spraying like, this was one of those flat roof gas stations that had like the rocks up on top as like part of the roof. And so it was just showering these like little rocks down over the employees' cars as well. But I remember our vault manager specifically came out and is like, we gotta start moving people's car. Are those eggs? And I'm just enjoying my breakfast as I'm watching the gas station next door burn down. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop eating. Like, I started making breakfast. I'm damn well gonna finish my fucking breakfast. But Yeah, they pulled a fire truck like into our parking lot past all the vehicles. We had to like open up the security gate for them. And then, you know, we were all there like having a great time, taking pictures. And the firefighters didn't say anything to us. But I did notice one of them look at me eating my eggs, give a quiet nod, and then put on his gas mask as the rest of them started, like, pulling out masks and putting them on, and I'm just like, oh, I should probably not be, like, ingesting whatever chemicals are happening.
Yeah.
So I quickly finished my eggs, and then we all got out of there.
Okay.
Just like scarfed the rest of them down. Yeah. Thankfully, the gas tanks underground did not go up, but they ended up having to like entirely demolish the gas station portion of it. Yeah, it was a time.
Well, that sounds about right. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Hi.
Thanks
for the raid.
If you want more, we'll probably be back next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Same time, same game, probably. But I will probably do some grinding off stream just so that we can get some new opponents and stuff, but we'll see if I have time. Anyways.
Yeah.
AvronPlays signing out.
Cheers all.